is not diversifying. Whenever I mention to people they should think about diversifying their income, they always tell me, yes, I totally am. I sell on eBay and Etsy and Folksy, all the places they're selling. But that always makes me cringe, because really that is not diversifying. I get that it feels like it is. You're trying to save yourself just in case eBay or Etsy or Amazon or one of the platforms closes your shop down. You've got an alternative place to sell your items. So that's the first step. However, it's not really future-proofing yourself all that well. You're still just relying on that one type of product. And things have trends and seasons, what's popular, what sells, and what might suddenly stop selling. So if all your eggs are in the basket of that one thing that you make, if it's seasonal, if it only sells at certain times in the year, then your income is going to fluctuate massively. Or if it's trendy, if people are going to stop liking it one day, it might be that your sales will just drop off a cliff just because there aren't customers anymore. And another thing is that manufacturing processes can catch up. Sometimes there's skills that were handcrafted, were handmade things, but manufacturing comes along and eventually surpasses what the handmade person can make. So unfortunately, if something can be manufactured to a higher quality for a better price, then there is going to be no demand for your skill. So let's look at what we can actually do to diversify a little bit better. And diversifying means looking outside the box to future-proof your income. So perhaps your items are wedding related and they get a peak in the summer sales, but you're dead over Christmas. Well, what different items could you make based on the same techniques you're using? Say you're doing SVGs to cut out beautiful signs and designs or something. Could you make a second shop that's making things that are a little more gift worthy? This way your shops would peak at different times and this would smooth out the fluctuations in your income. It also gives you an idea further ahead of time if things are looking bad. If you only rely on one peak once a year, it can be really difficult to see if your shop's dropping downhill. If you always expect to be quiet at a certain time of the year, you kind of don't notice the fact that you're extra quiet, perhaps there's extra competition in there, and when your peak comes around and you find out you're not situated very well for selling anymore, it might be too late and you might not have that peak season anymore. But doing this, you're still trading your time for money. It's not future-proofing in case you get sick and you're unable to work. Are there ways that we can future-proof our income so that we could have time off and still make money? This is possible with looking into passive income. Now bear in mind, for most things to take off, especially passive income, it takes a while to build up. Very few people dive straight in and make a success at this, because if it was this easy, everyone would be doing it. So it's something you put the hours into right now that might pay you off in years to come. But what things can you do? Well, look at what you're really good at, what you've learnt from setting up and creating an online art and craft store. So if you're fantastic at photography, if you've put all that time and effort into learning to take great photos, there's things you can do to make extra money with that. Photographing other people's work. Or editing their photos. People are always looking for editors. Or selling presets and things to help people bulk edit their own stuff. Creating photography courses, especially if you're using a very common type of camera. Lots of people search for the name of their camera and then how to do a thing. And even imagine if you're going out into the countryside and taking your great product photography photos with your animals or children or people in items. When you're out in those beautiful places, when you're out all the time with your camera, you could also be taking extra photographs and sell them in stock photography sites. If you live in a beautiful location in the country, or if you capture wonderful expressions of people, these are all great for stock photography. Or if your photography is not that great but you're a craft hoarder, if your craft supplies are spilling into more than 1, 2, 3 rooms, perhaps there's things you could do with that. Could you sell supplies? Where you are getting your crafts from? It might have been from years ago so people can't buy it anymore, or where you can buy them from in your part of the world is not so popular in other parts of the world. So Sell off some of your stuff as supplies. Or create kits. You've got masses of certain types of things. You could bundle them all together into a bundle kit, and that adds a bit of value and clears up some space for some of the stuff that you weren't using anyway. Or next level up, write tutorials. Write tutorials to put them in the kit. That adds even extra value to your kit that you've created. And if you have expertise in your craft, if you've been doing it for a number of years and it's a popular thing and people are interested in, tutorials are always popular. People will spend a few bucks on a tutorial you've written, and tutorials I wrote 10 years ago still sell every now and again just now. So that work I put in has more than paid for itself. And you could also run real life classes. Obviously, probably not just now, but retreats and art classes are always popular. And the same if you're an expert at something like doing your taxes or organising or planning or stock taking. Can you run classes in that? Can you make tutorials on how to do this thing? Trust me, self-employed people really need help in being able to do their taxes for the country you're in. So maybe look at that. And if you're not an expert in your craft or art, you could tell a story. People love to watch videos or follow blogs of people learning something. Tell your process of why you wanted to learn this thing, what you're finding difficult, what you're learning, where you're going to learn. And you can even monetize that. Or if you have a reasonable following on social media or your blogs or your videos, then you can do affiliate marketing. And that just simply means you tell your followers stuff that you enjoy. You promote it to them, and if they buy it, you get some of the money back. So basically, once you've built your shop up to a level that you're kind of doing okay with it, diversifying doesn't mean build another shop and another shop and another shop in different locations. Diversifying means future-proof your income and hopefully be looking ahead to giving yourself a nice easy retirement where you don't have to be creating as much as you used to. Things you create like videos and tutorials and kits, they can be kept... They can keep making you money without you having to do the same amount of work. Hope that helped you think about things differently.